Are you ready to stop the self-sabotage and create the life you desire? Well, in order for that to happen, you need to break free from the bad beliefs that are holding your success hostage. You need to optimize the stress by turning it into extra energy for success. And those hurtful habits? Well, we need to give that pain a purpose for progress. Welcome to Stop the Self Sabotage and Create the Life You Desire podcast. Think of something that you value, a possession that is really important to you. And then what is it that you do to protect it? For me, I have some antique pieces of jewelry that belong to my grandmother, and I don't leave it out on display for when someone comes into my house. They could easily lift one of those pieces. I keep it in a place where I know it is safe and secure. Uh, Same way with my general well-being. I have my home that has locks on the doors and the windows. And when I go to sleep at night, they're secure. So I want you to think of you as the same way. There are parts of you that need protection. They need to be safe and secure. But unfortunately, what a lot of us have done is we've put walls around ourselves instead of boundaries. Boundaries bless, where walls keep us confined within. Walls are meant for possessions. Walls are meant for the things on the material plane that need to be protected, but not you. Because what happens when you build a wall around yourself, you'll do it 360 degrees. And now it is like a circle around you, and it's going to go really high above you because you wanted to make sure that nobody could climb over that wall and get to you to ever hurt you again. But what you've really done is you've turned yourself into a trash receptacle. And people come along and they regurgitate their pain into your receptacle, or they throw their junky life down in on top of you. And so the very thing that was meant to keep you from being hurt again is exactly what's going to cause you to wind up being re-wounded again and again and again. And I know why you did it. Same way, the reason why I did it. We weren't taught boundaries. We were taught a power over position to where someone could violate our boundaries mentally, emotionally, or physically and not be punished for it. In fact, we were actually taught that this is how we were supposed to live life. And then we had rules that we were given, not boundaries. We had rules that we had to play by, but that the person in the power over position did not. And what continued to happen then is that we were violated. We had rules we had to meet to try to get the conditional love that we were looking to receive. But because it was conditional, then the requirements for it kept being moved. So we would do more and more and more for the person that was never going to be held accountable for what it is that they were doing. No wonder we built a wall around ourselves, right? Well, boundaries bless. Rules restrict. Walls wound. We're supposed to have boundaries around ourselves because boundaries, we can choose to expand them or pull them in. We have a choice on something that might be a deal breaker or something to where we want to think it over and decide how valuable and important it is to us. Rules are about other people and our expectations and what it is that they need to do. See, rules are all about them. Boundaries are about us, but because we were never taught how to do those in an appropriate way, we were taught not to have boundaries. Instead, we were taught to have rules for ourselves, and the rules were conditional. This is what we had to do to earn the certainty, to earn the freedom, the worthiness, and the love. But it was all dysfunctional. And it doesn't matter if it happened when you were a kid with people in authority around you, if it was when you got into school and it was a teacher or a coach or maybe a boss or a significant other, somewhere in your life, you were taught that it was okay for them to have power over you, for you not to have boundaries. Instead, you had to play by their rules, and they would keep changing those rules, which kept you guessing about you and what it is that you needed to do to finally get your needs met. And that younger you, whatever age you were when you were wounded, well, they're asking for help right now because you did not have the maturity and or the skill set at the time you experienced this immersion event, which is the reason why it hurt and you created the wall, but now people are using it as a trash can to dump themselves on top of you. So the wall really isn't working, is it? Okay, so what is it that you need to do? Understand that boundaries are not trying to control other people because you're actually giving them the choice on whether or not they want to go by your request of your boundary. It might be a yes, it might be a no, it might be that there needs to be a modification. So the number one thing I want you to know is that boundaries are all about you, and they're in place to keep you secure. That they're ever evolving. They're not set in stone like your wall is. And they're also not rules of expectations. Instead, a boundary is what you put around something that you find valuable. And you're what's valuable. So number one, it's going to keep your values safe. Number two, when you decide to have boundaries, not walls, but boundaries, it tells you a lot about other people. Most people don't know how to respond to a boundary, but they know how to react. Reactions are based on past pain. Responses are based on future impact. I drew a boundary with someone last night where I said, this is what I need in order to be safe and secure. This is what I need. Now, you can choose not to do that or not. That's going to be up to you. And if they choose not to, then there's going to be consequences as far as how much I'm going to allow them into my life, because that's the rules about them. But my boundary is all about me. A boundary is simply a container that holds your energy. And then you can decide if you want to make that container large or if you need to bring it in close to you. So 2, they give you information about other people. 3, a boundary gives you the safe place in order for you to heal. Because you got some wounds going on. And that younger you is who comes to the surface whenever you're triggered by a boundary violation. Who you were when the original imprint took place that said, oh no, there's no boundaries. There's only rules. They always get changed, and you will never do enough to get this conditional love. So that's who's getting triggered. You need to be able to make her safe and let her know that the adult you has this. Whenever I'm working in hypnosis with someone, I do what's known as the 4 R's: reveal, release, relearn, rejoice. Reveal the part of you that's been wounded. Release them from getting triggered by this implicit agreement relearn, put the part of you that can handle the situation and the boundary in place, and then rejoice, bring all parts of you together for a party. The younger you, the wise you, and who you are in this present moment. So a boundary creates the place for all of that healing to take place. Number 4, it then allows others to decide how healthy they want to be. See, that there's a scale that I also teach my clients called plus and negative 5. And it simply means that at times we're going to be in a position where we give, and at times we're going to be in a position where we request, where we expect to receive. And a -1 and a +1 are very healthy. You get to interchange. Hey, I want to give right now, or I expect to receive. And you move back and forth. But the further out you get, closer to the -5 or the +5, the more dysfunctional you get. And when you have somebody in your environment that's further out on those numbers, you must match their energy in a dysfunctional way, or you hold your place of power and they now need to match you, or they will leave the relationship. So when you draw a boundary and you stay at that 1 on either side, maybe it's a plus or a negative, then that allows the person that you're dealing with to decide how healthy they want to be. And if they don't want to be healthy, they're going to leave the experience. Not before they try to push you, though, and they actually want to push into your boundary. So you need to be aware of that. They're not going to give up easy because these people have been used to taking from you. I have one of my clients who reestablished a relationship after a number of years, just wanted to reach out to somebody and say hi, and it went right back into the old trash pit. I had the same thing happen with one of my old friends just a couple of weeks ago. I also have a business relationship with them. She reached out for us to do some business, and then we talked a little bit on the personal, and I noticed, boy, she is going right back into the lack of boundaries, and that's not who I am. So you got to maintain your power place, your boundary, and say, no, you can't come in. You need to draw your own and quit taking mine. Okay. And then number 5, when you draw a boundary that keeps you safe, it gives you the information about the other person. It allows you to heal, and then it allows you to see if they want to heal. Well, number 5 now says you get to determine how the relationship is going to continue. Some people come across for a reason, some for a season, some for a lifetime. I have very close family members where it was for a reason or a season. And while I have wonderful memories with them, we can no longer be in each other's world because we're not able to maintain those boundaries and stay at the ones of either giving or receiving. And so it gets too triggered, and we can't go back there. You cannot survive today on the memory of what you ate yesterday. You cannot continue to thrive in your relationships when you keep trying to go back and recreate something that is in the past or that was actually very painful. You've created amnesia around it to where you don't remember the pain, you only remember the good times, but those good times are not enough to continue to nourish you. Okay, so that's the reason why you need boundaries instead of walls. Walls do not keep you safe. In fact, they create a trash pit for others to regurgitate on you. They do not give you info about other people, because when people see a trash can, they get triggered to throw something in it that they don't want anymore. It does not speed your healing process to have walls. In fact, it keeps you trapped in who you were when you originally got wounded. It does not allow others to choose their healing, and you can't determine how the relationship should continue when you're in the bottom of a trash pit with all this crap on top of you. If I can be of assistance for you in this, reach out to me for your consult, and I'll let you know anyone that is working with me in December, or they have a consult with me and they choose to work with me in January, you're going to get access to a class I have on go from goal setting into goal getting. I'm going to be doing it in January. You can either attend live or you can get the recording. But this is only going to be for my private clients. And before you can get those goals, before you can turn your dreams into reality, you have to have the process for setting boundaries that's known as dreams, realities, and triggers. And that's what I'm working with a lot of my private clients right now. And maybe that's something that we need to investigate. Is that process something you need to investigate? Okay, reach out to me, 1-636-699-7791. Call me or send me a text. Let me know you want the consult. Again, you cannot build walls and not re-wound yourself. Boundaries bless, and that's what you need. You need to receive more blessings in your life before you can turn those dreams into reality. I'd be honored if I could assist you with it.